Could this be the strongest the second tier of the Big Ten has been in a while? It could be. It could be. This has been a glaring weakness for the Big Ten. Ohio State's been a mainstay. Michigan, for the past several years, they've been there. Oregon is now in the Big Ten. So Oregon, like from this point forward, they're going to be a mainstay. They won the conference last year. I would say for our purposes here, Penn State has been sort of part of that tier one. They haven't won the league, but they've been a dependable, like 10-win caliber brand every year, and they're the ones that are going to push the big boys at the very least. So we've had them. Outside of that, there has not been a solid tier two. That's what the SEC's had that the Big Ten hasn't had. Like the SEC, they'll go like 4 or 5 deep with solid second-tier teams, like a South Carolina any given year. Alabama was tier 2 in the SEC last year, just to like give you a flavor. So here, I'm telling you who it should be. Wisconsin should perennially be tier 2. Iowa has been, so they've kind of held up their end of the deal. Michigan State should absolutely, just judging based off history, be perennially in tier 2. Wisconsin and Michigan State have dropped the ball for the Big Ten for a few years now. But think about this year. What could happen? Iowa, I would assume, will be right back there in that tier 2 range. But Illinois, absolutely there. Indiana, if last year's any indication, they're right back in that conversation. Then you start talking about Nebraska, year 3 under Matt Rule. Yes, they could absolutely fit that category. Washington, I'm kind of a little bit higher on as a sleeper team in year 2 under Jed Fish. They could be in there. USC under Lincoln could absolutely be in there. So you've got a lot of tests. Obviously, all of these are conference games. Like Ohio State goes to Washington. Ohio State goes to Illinois. USC plays at Illinois. Illinois's got huge opportunity early portion of the season. Penn State plays at Iowa. They play Indy. They play Nebraska. Michigan goes to Nebraska and to USC. They play Washington. So what we got to have, let me cut in really quick and ask, look, prayer hands, please subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. And if you think you're subscribed, check and make sure. Over 50% of you aren't. It's free. It doesn't sign you up for anything, and it helps us keep the show free, college football year-round, the way God intended it. All right, back to the clip. You've got to have a situation where in November, you don't look at the Big Ten and just say, look at the tip of that iceberg. Man, that is impressive, but there's not really anything under the surface. You need to be looking at the tip of the iceberg and saying, yeah, but just beneath the surface, you ought to see it. That's conference depth. That's the way it should be there. And I think it's lacked over the past few years, but they've made the coaching moves. The thing about the Big Ten is there was an understanding around the league, at least this is my theory, is that when the bigger TV money started getting pumped into the league, there was an unspoken understanding from the tier 2, tier 3 type programs, we got to get our act together. Like at Wisconsin, they looked around and said, what Paul Chryst is doing is not enough. We need a superstar coach. They went and got Luke Fickell. It has not paid off immediately, but it wasn't because they weren't aggressive. Nebraska, ditto with Matt Rule. Michigan State, ditto with Jonathan Smith. So Cignetti at Indiana, I don't think immediately people expected it, but boom, he delivered it anyway. So they've got the depth of quality in coaching. The programs just have to mirror that. The teams this year just have to mirror that. And I think there's a good chance that, yeah, the answer to the question ends up being yes.